Hi there, welcome back. So today we are talking about gameplay. Now see, of course, when the Centurions was released, there was a major segment on gameplay. Timo, the gameplay producer, took us through it. And while that day we did live react to it, of course, today we'll take a more in-depth look at it. What are the things we are expecting that will come on April 9th? And how do we think that the gameplay will be affected because of this? Now, let me be fair here. Yes, there is a cross nerf. Yes, there is a boost in other numbers, but in general I feel like this update would change this game a little bit in the way how we play it, and that is why we are actually taking a more in-depth look at it. Let's of course start with the first major update here, which is with regards to ground and ground through pass. Yes, the first thing that EA has gone ahead and done is boost another type of passing, which is the ground passing. Of course, I don't think this will be as obnoxious as the cross spam. The reason for that you'll understand in a bit, but effectively what this means is that now you have to rely a lot more on the ground than aerial build-ups. If you see here, see how accurate just these ground passes are. It's almost like aimbot for ground through passes, and the reason for that is because first of all, the ground through passes lead distance has increased. So right now if you use the tap and ground through pass, or you don't already, you should, because these passes will go a lot more in terms of distance, and also they'll go a lot faster depending on which cards you are using. So a good center mid, a good CAM is pivotal right now, because they'll be able to give these passes much faster, to where the build-ups become much faster in general. You see the link, right? This is how ground passing is going to affect the game, because it's not only taking the place of something like crossing, it's also major that which cards you choose in order to put these passes in. Now what this leads to is of course dribbling. I think in general people didn't have a lot of complaints with dribbling, but what they have done right now is that you don't have to keep pressing the sprint button all the time. You can just dribble by using your joystick. This is a very popular thing, it's called joystick dribbling, and right now the joystick dribbling has been made faster, so you don't have to rely on sprint to cover a lot of ground. And also there is this new, it's a little bit of an interesting thing. I don't think this will affect you quite a lot. It's just that the first time you tap sprint, you will get a burst of pace. This is very similar to how eFootball does it, if you have ever played it. And see here how this slowly balances in time, right? This is what that is. And finally, of course, what we need to talk about and what they are also talking about is crossing. This has received a major nerf, like in a way where I haven't seen EA nerf things in a while. They have literally gone ahead and made sure that the crosses never are on target. You'll see that in a bit. They start off with saying that okay, the number that you have in crossing will make a difference. You can kind of circumvent it, so they've gone ahead and said yes, the crosses have reduced accuracy. Now doesn't matter if you have big crossing numbers, you will still not be able to tap, and the cross goes right there and you score. See these examples here. Yes, whatever he tapped doesn't matter, because see where the actual cross is ending up going. This is very reminiscent of how FC Mobile was at the very beginning of it. And if you see here, see the tap was right in front of the GK, but the actual cross went a lot further, which means that this is not going to be as accurate. And also the passes, the crosses rather, are much slower now, which is something which is going to impact us quite a lot. The reason for that is because the defenders get a lot more time to actually catch up to these crosses, thus making sure that you don't concede a lot. And before we talk about the rest of the bug fixes and improvements, let me just take this second here to highlight this slide, because this is what EA has highlighted the most. So the way you have to go about this now is you have to pick cards which in general have higher passing numbers, and you can see EA has focused on it a lot more with this new update, because even in someone like Zico, the passing card is a lot more buffed. And if you pick cards, especially center mids, CAMs, which have boosted passing numbers, you literally feel that impacting your day-to-day head-to-head. So I would much rather focus now on good passing numbers in center mid CAMs, then focus on crossing numbers. I won't rely on it at all, to be fair with you. And also, if you are an existing cross spammer, first of all, I understand how you exploited this and had a lot of fun, but a new exploit for you now would be the ground through passing. But always remember, it's going to be much harder because defenders are good at ground than they were in aerial. That was one thing that we always saw. And also, with the new ground passing update, you would need to rearrange your whole team, so I guess it won't be as effective. I hope so, at least. Finally, let's get into this list. Now see, this is not a lot of things that you would face in a day-to-day basis. You won't even notice that these are there. There is a new substitute button positioning. It's right on the screen now when you play the matches. These are not very quality of life. It's just, okay, maybe these things did matter. I don't know. I never saw it. Yes, players without the ball decelerate faster, so you'll retain a bit more stamina, and also you won't notice cards which are running and running even though they don't have the ball. Yes, basic chances in versus attack are more challenging, which means versus attack is going to be a bit harder for teams which have slightly lower overall. That is how it has always been, even more so now. Shot speed is lower for actually manager mode. Now, according to people who play manager mode, I don't, this will matter a lot because currently you can score from the half line if you have good cards with power shots. So apparently this will matter a lot. More goal deep play diversity. If you skip replays, then this sucks for you. Ability to skip goal and offside replay, these go hand in hand because first of all you have more replays, but second of all you can directly skip them. And also player not jumping or double jumping during header battle. This applies more towards defenders in crossing situations, so they have buffed even the defending more by adding this in. Finally, the whole entire overview, again, everything that is coming in this 9th update, and there is a lot that you can see on the screen, but effectively if you just take 3 things into account, this entire list is summed up. First off, in center mids, now you are picking cards which have, again, I keep repeating this, but trust me, this will be very, very important. Pick cards with higher passing. Center midline is covered. In dribbling, in right winger, left winger, pick cards which have a higher dribbling stat, not the pace, because at this point the sprint is not as important as the jog or the straight dribble, so that will matter even more. Your cards will by default be fast. You need to make sure they have a high dribbling stat for you to do so, and that first tap on the sprint will become very, very pivotal. Yes, I plan on playing head to head once this update drops. What I would say is, of course, you would see a very, very important change in how day-to-day matches operate now. One thing that I would have liked to see is them actually talking about skill moves a little bit, which they haven't at all here. It's all about passing, movement and crossing, but at least this looks like a good start. And if there are any problems with regards to passing or the ground through pass that they just buffed, they can fix it 3 months later, as it has always been with EA. But with that, of course, we will end today's video. Let me know what you think about these updates in general. Do you think the game will become better in terms of gameplay now? Do you think that they needed to do something more? I will catch you in another video, and of course, if you want to see something more, do not forget to click somewhere around here. Bye bye.